Ken Canion, the host of Love, Lust, and Lies. And on today's show, we're going to talk about how to attract your ideal mate, your soul mate, ideal relationship. Whatever it is, we're going to talk about today how you attract that. Now, let me preface this by saying we've been doing an 8-week class. And y'all, the 8-week class is so deep. Last night class was so good. It was so good that I went to sleep thinking about the class. And I went to sleep, and then people in the class are manifesting things. And so I wanted to do today, a lot of people want relationships, but they don't want to become the person who can have the relationship. And so I'm going to give you like some of the ways that you can attract the ideal relationship that you desire. Whether it's a partner, whether it's a partner, whether it's soulmate, whether it's just somebody that you want to kick it with. Now, there is a way to do that. So we're going to get started. But understand this, and I wrote this out, and I'm giving you the short version of it. Understand this, that people look outside themselves, okay, for the answers. And the truth is, the answer is already inside of you. So you are a co-creator of your own life. And as Milani Shani always says, everything begins and ends with you. You can attract and manifest what you truly desire. You just have to be willing to do the things that it takes to manifest them. Now, that being said, so let's get started. I'm going to give you the short version. So the short version is, think of it like this. The law of attraction is the process. Manifestation is the product. So law of attraction simply says like attracts like. That means let me give you an example of this. That means if you want a husband or a wife, that would be the manifestation of it. The law of attraction would be attracting potential candidates in your life, okay? Attracting potential candidates in your life. So the law of attraction starts the process. It begins the process, and the manifestation is the product of the process, okay? So don't get them confused, because a lot of times people get them confused and they say, well, I'm not sure they're the same. They're not the same. Manifestation is the reality of attraction. It's see, and I use the example of marriage. If your desire, your intention is to get married, okay, that's the manifestation. Well, the attraction means now you're attracting worthy candidates. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, so that's how it works. Now, that being said, so you got to understand there are two parts to this. There's the attraction stage, and there's the manifestation part of it. One is the process, one is the product. All right? So I hope you understand that. Now, let me say this. What we're going to talk about is many people, one of the biggest, last night we gave the myths of attraction, y'all. And those myths were powerful because one of the myths is that it's just about positive thinking. That's not true. Because a lot of times you can think positive, but nothing happens. So we're going to kind of go through the process. And during this process, what I want you to do is understand that you can create whatever it is you desire, whatever it is you want. You are the co-creator of it. Now, okay, so let's start here. So I want to start. I started doing research on this years ago because I was thinking that, man, that ain't gonna work. And then I started studying quantum physics. And started looking at the human body, the human form, and I thought about it. I used to think that quantum physics and science was contradictory toward the Bible because I'm a believer. But the truth is I found out that it is not. It is in alignment with the Bible. Alignment is a term we use in manifestation, meaning that they're in conjunction. They are parallel. They're on the same wavelength. They are in there together. And so when God said, believe, receive, believe, all you have to do is ask for it, confess it, and you can have it. But then he also said, faith without works is dead. You got to do the work to get what you want. So he's simply saying everything that we're talking about in the law of attraction and everything we're talking about in manifestation and all of that is going to come to fruition today. I'm going to give you the short version. All right. So the first thing I got you to understand is this. The human body, the human form, the human spirit, our soul, all of that makes up us. Okay? Now, if you look at the human form under a microscope, y'all, if you look at it, you will be surprised that everything's moving. Molecules, everything, we're moving. We're nothing but energy. We are all energy. You can't see it by the naked eye, but we're all energy. And the truth is that, why I keep saying the truth is today. Stop that, Ken. All right, we're all energy. And energy is neither created nor destroyed. It is just transferred from person to person, from thing to thing. Energy, we're nothing but energy, y'all. So think of us like the first law of attraction that people don't talk about is the law of vibration. Now, we don't mention this in our class, but I learned this years ago. And vibration has to do with our energy. So get this. Now, our energy is determined by our emotions. Energy in motion. Okay? Emotions are nothing but energy in motion. Now, when your vibration is low, when you're in despair, you're angry, you're hurt, you're sad, you're frustrated, you're suicidal thoughts, all of those things have a low vibrational frequency, low energy, okay? Low frequency, you're operating on a low frequency, grief, all of those things. Now, when you're operating on that frequency, you get whatever comes on that frequency. You ever notice how when they say birds of a feather flock together? That's why they say misery loves company, because miserable people always find a way to find other miserable people. Is this true or not? Because they're operating off the same wavelength, vibrational currency, vibrational wavelength, the vibrational frequency, all of the same. Now, what you're finding out is this. When you focus on your emotions, and I'm going to talk about why. I'm just doing this right now so you understand. When your emotions rise and you're on a higher frequency, optimism, outlook, forward thinking, okay, gratitude, confidence, all of those things are on a higher frequency. And now you begin to attract things and people on that frequency. Y'all, so that's why, and so the law of attraction says like attracts like attracts like. But before we get the like, we got to understand that we're attracting it based on the vibrational frequency. So the law of vibration is the first thing, okay? Now, whatever frequency you're operating on, that's what you're going to attract. Now I'm going to tell you how to change that frequency if you've been operating on a bad frequency. Now, how many of you been saying stuff like this? All men cheat. Men ain't shit. Women ain't shit. Nobody ain't shit. And then you talk about, I can't find a good man. Ain't no good man out there. That means that you're operating on a low frequency. Okay? And because you're operating on a low frequency, you will continue to get that which you speak. The energy where your energy is. All right? Does that make sense? All right. So a lot of you say it out of frustration. I get that. But you're hindering the very thing that you desire. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you the focus. And then at the end of this, I am going to give you Milani and my business partner and I, the class we've been doing. Oh, a lot of people, you can't get in the class now. It's full. But we did do a master class. And the master class goes into detail about all of this. And what I'm going to say to you is you should get the master class. Maybe you couldn't afford the class or you weren't willing to invest in the class. But either way, you need to invest in yourself. So let's get into this lesson deeper. The first thing I want you to understand is this. I was talking to G, my man Gifted Hands, who's here with me. And I said, G, he said, what you going to talk about today, coach? I said, I'm going to talk about how you manifest your ideal relationship, your soulmate, ideal partner, life partner, whatever you want to call it. And G said, well, truth is, this coming from a man who said, I've changed a lot. He said, truth is, you have to change yourself. I said, my goodness, G. He said, I've been listening to your lives. And listen to what I'm going to tell you. Change you and the world will follow. Okay? Change you and the world will follow. Change your thoughts, realign your emotions. The results you will get will be amazing. people in your life will change. And see, what happens is, this is what the problem is. The problem is we want to hold on to the people who are going to look at our change and say something negative about our change. And so because you're not confident in the change you want to make, and you're looking to the world outside of you to determine how you should feel about yourself. Y'all, I see it all day long. You look at your cousins, mom and them, dad and them, to learn how you should feel. Now you're grown. You're 40 years old. You're 50 years old, and you're looking at someone else to determine how you should feel about you. And thus you keep getting the same thing in your life. No different. So you want to learn how to attract? I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you, stay tuned to the end, and I'm going to give you an offer. But the first thing you got to do is set your intentions. Now, what do I mean by set your intention? So let's look at it like this. First of all, setting your intentions meaning you need to write down identify what it is you truly want. Okay? And y'all, we ain't talking about a whole bunch of things. I'm not going to deal with 10, 20 things. I'm going to deal with one thing. Because if you can manifest one thing, if you can start attracting that one thing in your life and manifest it, then you can do more. So I say pick one thing that you desire. Set your intentions and stop saying stuff like, I don't want no relationship. I don't want no relationship. You know what? I'm single. I don't need no relationship. All that. And what you're doing is you're setting that intention. And so what I'm telling people is be clear on what you want. If you want it, say it. Set the desire, set the intention, write it down, write it. And I'm going to tell you, I did it in my journal. There's some things that I set, some intentions that I set, some things I wasn't afraid to say I want. Many times people are afraid to say that they want it because they don't believe either one, they can get it, they can have it. Or number two, they don't believe they deserve it. Either way, if you don't set the intention, you won't get it. Okay? And so part of setting your intention is this. It is saying, I can have it. I do deserve it. Okay? Even if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter right now. Because if you don't believe it, fine. Just do the steps. Just do the steps. Because a lot of people don't have any basis to believe what they want will happen. You know, there are no millionaires in my family. There are people who've made great livings. But there are no millionaires, so I have no example in my family to say, when I say I want to be a millionaire, well, I'm going to be, I am going to be. It has nothing to do with my family. Instead of looking for an example, I'm going to become the example. See, that's what we have to be willing to do. You're looking for an example around you. My friends, they don't have a good relationship. Mama been divorced 40 years. Nobody. So what? Be the example. Be willing to be the example. Stop looking outside yourself to determine how you should feel. Okay? So first thing is set your intentions. The second thing is focus on your emotional, okay? You know how they say IQ, okay? Intelligent quotient. We're going to focus on your EQ, your emotional quotient. And let me tell you why that's important. Because emotions are the things that drive attraction and manifestation. See, your emotions, remember what I said, your emotions are the things that make your vibration rise. And what I want you to do is start thinking about every day your feelings. How do you feel? Even if you feel down, it's okay if you feel down one day, what I want you to do is get around people who make you feel good. I want you to say things that make you feel good. I want you to listen to stuff that makes you feel good. Because the more you feel good, the higher vibrational plane frequency you're going to be on. And when you're on a higher vibrational frequency, you attract the things on that frequency. No man that's a positive man, a good man, wants to be around a negative woman. I'm sorry. So if your vibration is low, you're not going to even attract that man. He ain't even going to look at you. He's not going to be attracted to you because you ain't on his wavelength. You're not. You're not. And yet you stay in this miserable state and you stay around miserable ass people. And those miserable people keep you miserable. And you, even though you don't like it, you stay in it. Period. We've got to focus on our EQ. And if you don't know how, y'all, inbox me. Let's have a discovery session. I can help you get anything. My last client, one of my last clients, she attracted the man of her dreams. And she told me the other day, I was just telling G how she said, man, I didn't realize I was such a bad client. I didn't realize I was such a bad person. I said, no, you weren't. You were just talking out of your pain brain. See, your pain brain is, I learned from Milani, your pain brain is the part of you that keeps you in pain, that keeps reminding you of the bad things that have happened to you. Now, there's a difference between protection part of your brain and the pain brain that reminds you of everybody you've dated who did you wrong. Okay? It reminds you of all of the things, relationships that didn't work. Instead of attracting, focusing on, you only need one to work. It ain't like you need all of them to work. You just need one. So let's focus our attention on this. So let me tell you something about the law of attraction, how it works and how it doesn't work. You ever notice what you think about, you bring about, and you attach emotion to it? Here's the problem, and I talked about this in class last night. A lot of us think about what we don't want. You ever tell them, I don't want a man that cheats. I don't want somebody who's going to abuse me. I don't want somebody who's going to do that. Whenever you think about what you don't want, you're putting energy towards it. Whenever you think about what you don't want, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And the more you think about that, that's the thing that you get. Because where energy goes, where attention goes, energy flows. Where attention goes, energy flows. Now your energy is focused on that. Instead, don't tell me what you don't want. Focus on what you do want. I want a man who's going to treat me and love me unconditionally. I want a man who would accept me for being authentic. I want a man who's going to love me, who's going to be kind, who's going to be courteous. All of those things. Now I focus on that. And that's what I will attract. All right? And the last thing is, and this is the super abbreviated version, y'all, is allow it to happen the way it happens. And this is where a lot of people screw up in, relationships. And they ask God, they say, God, I want a man. I want a man I want a man I can love, and he send you the man. And because you have this image in your head of what this man is going to be packaged like, what he's going to look like, then you say, that ain't him. And then you've heard that joke, which is not really a joke, when God said, you know, a guy with the house was flooding and a boat came. God prayed to God and said, God, please save me, please save me. First boat came. And then the guy said, no, God, I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on God. And then the tide kept rising. And then another boat came. And then he said, I'm waiting on God. And the man said, go and wait on God. And then he gets on the ceiling. Helicopter comes to save him. Y'all heard it. And then the man said, I'm waiting on God. And the dude drowns. And get to heaven and ask God, I said, God, I thought I was waiting on you. He said, yeah, I sent you 3 people. He said, I sent you 3 people. And the same thing here is, listen, allow things to happen. When you pray, when you do the work, when you start working on yourself and say, allow it to happen the way that it happens, many things are not going to come packaged like we think they should. And well, here's what I tell people. I say, I want you to write down everything, how you're going to feel when you get it. See, now you're not talking about what it's packaged like. How's it going to make you feel? It's going to make me feel like I'm worthy. It's going to make me feel great. It's going to make me feel fulfilled. All of those things. Write down how you're going to feel and focus on the emotion and let God and the universe send it to you how it comes. There you go. Listen, if you want to learn more about, manifestation, if you want to learn more about it, inbox me. We did a master class, a 3-hour master class, and you can do it on your own. And then not only that, I'll give you an hour of coaching for free with the master class. If you get it, if you're interested in it, inbox me. Okay. And I'll give you a special link to it and we'll make it work. All right. It's my time. I'm good. I hope you are. Remember, every journey starts with one step. Take yours today.